We're the 2023 Hyundai Tucson plug-in hybrid. There are not a whole lot of these things out there, but I'm going to tell you after today's review, if this is the vehicle you should be getting for this market. We're going to start with the powertrain. So I lift the hood here. It is a pretty heavy hood. This thing is not from aluminum. I'm imagining it's steel, but we have a turbo hybrid setup, around 260 horsepower, around the same amount of pound-feet of torque, mated to a 6-speed automatic. So you have a turbo 4-cylinder with this electric motor. Now, when you're driving in full EV mode, you can get up to around 90 horsepower or so from the electric motor alone. Hyundai says about 33 miles of EV range. I'll tell you what I was able to get once we start driving. Once you run out of the range, they say about 35 miles per gallon. I'll also tell you if that's the sort of range I'm getting as well. We also have standard all-wheel drive on this model. And let's get into the looks of the Hyundai Tucson. This vehicle was redesigned a few years back. It was a huge jump in design. And I'm happy to say a few years later now, it still looks good. We have this Cascade front grille that's kind of like this dark chrome, looks great. And then the Cascade daytime running lights look good. These are gonna be your nighttime lights down there. I think the front end has aged quite well, just being a couple years out on the market. As we come to the side is, well, I think it looks pretty good in white. Even with all these creases, I'm just not the biggest fan of all these creases. I think this little piece here could be done without. It doesn't really add anything. These 19-inch wheels are very handsome. I guess they kind of look like throwing stars or almost like a snowflake of some sort as well. They're very unique looking. Aluminum piece here at the top to accent the black roof rails as well. Come around to the rear, teeth like rear taillights. I think they look quite cool with the light bar that goes across. Huge Hyundai logo here, and this is a very big windshield that when you're looking out the back, it's very good visibility through your rear view mirror, which in this segment, that's not always the case. Rear parking sensors here, and you might be looking for the liftgate button around, but it's actually way down here at the bottom. Automated liftgate here. It's not the fastest opening guy, but it works. Auto closing as well, and I like how tall it lifts. So many vehicles like our van, for example, I can't stand under it, so I like that. Now for a plug-in hybrid, I'm looking for accessory power on the inside of the vehicle, especially the cargo. I don't have any plug-ins, traditional household plug-ins here like I see like in the Rav4, for example. All I have is this 12 volt, which is up to 180 watts, but the competition out there can do 1500 watts from a standard household plug. So I'd like to see that improvement here from Hyundai. Underneath the floor, we have an EV charger as well as a tire mobility kit. And when you see these, that means no spare tire. But if you wanted to, you could remove this whole piece here for additional storage. This is just a simple level 1 that it comes with. I have a level 2 in my garage. It only charges about 3.6 kilowatts. This will charge up to 7.2 kilowatts, somewhere around there, and I'm able to charge this thing in about 4 hours on my 3.5 kilowatt charger. So let's go ahead and close that down. You can fold the seats flat in there as well. Let's go ahead and see what the kids are doing in the back seat. I do like these door handles real quick. The door feels very solid, very well made, very well put together. I'm gonna take the camera from you. No sunshades, but we do have this darkened tent window, which helps keep the sun off the kids. We have heated outboard seats, which are not going to do a whole lot with the kid seats that we have in here. Little mesh mat pocket here on each side. I like having the vents here to cool the kids off as well. 2 USB-A's at the bottom. Hyundai has not moved to USB-C's on this model. And lastly, this panel roof is enormous. So Gigi's waving. It's enormous, and the kids love looking up during the day and the nighttime to check out the stars. This interior feels fairly familiar. I remember a similar interior on the Hyundai Santa Cruz pickup truck, which shares a lot with the Tucson. You kind of have this screen that comes off the dash, which is good because with the touchscreen, you want it to be close to where your arm is. And so Hyundai's done a good job bringing the screen closer. Unfortunately, this is all touch capacitive. There's no volume knob. It drives me off the wall. And this little screen down here just looks like it's from a decade or two ago, but it is somewhat functional having all these dedicated buttons. It's just not the most intuitive thing out there. We do have more real buttons for heated and ventilated seats. You have a heated steering wheel here as well. The 360 camera is excellent. It makes for parking this compact crossover, extremely easy. Just if I put it into drive, you can see the front camera as well. It's a good 360 camera setup. If I swipe to the right, it's going to tell me my PHEV settings. There we go. I have 0 miles of range. So here's the big reveal. You guys on YouTube, I put a poll out there. I think a lot of you said I would get 28 miles of EV range on this, even though it's rated at 33. I got 38. So I was really happy with that it overshot the EPA estimate. So that's good. And then in miles per gallon, what am I getting when I run out? Well, I'm seeing about 36, 37 miles per gallon. So I'm getting a little bit over what the EPA estimates on EV range as well as MPGs. There's also a charge management schedule here on here as well if you want to charge with like off-peak time and stuff like that. All right, Android Auto works great on here. I enjoy it. It takes up the whole screen if I want it to. And then these buttons here can quickly get you back to the Hyundai software if you need to get out of it. All right, the steering wheel, I love the setup here. It's easy for my arm to just rest on the armrest and then rest my hand at the bottom. The safety features in here are excellent. These paddle shifters though, they do not work with regen settings. All it does is roll through the 6-speed automatic. So it would have been nice to have some different brake regeneration here as an option. You also have an additional screen back here that gives me all the information. If I change driving modes, there are 4 different ones. It gives me a little animation here, pretty standard for Hyundai products. And memory seats over here, and we do have a Bose sound system in here, which sounds pretty good. It's not gonna blow anyone's minds, but oh yeah, even though we have Android Autos, I put it into drive, we don't have Android Auto wireless. So you have to plug it into this USB-A down here. We also have a wireless charger kind of tucked away as well. But go ahead and put it in drive with this drive mode select. You know, Hyundai's getting to the stock nowadays where they put the drive mode here and you just twist to put it into drive, which I prefer because we're gonna have more space here. So anyways, until then, we have, you know, the old school push button drive. So one thing that has kind of annoyed me is that we have auto brake hold and it works really well here. So when I come to this stop, you'll see what it does. Get into the brakes. This car brakes pretty well. It's pretty predictive with the braking. So at a stop, I press auto brake hold and I get off the brake and it holds me. So if I'm in stop and go traffic, car line with the kids, keeps me here. The problem is every time I turn the car off, it turns auto brake hold off and it doesn't remember it. So that's something I've gone through the menus. I haven't been able to find a way to make sure that this stays on every time you cycle the car, but I think that is just the way it is. So we're gonna go ahead and get onto the gas here with this all-wheel drive plug-in hybrid powertrain. It is quick. There's no doubt about it. Now, this does weigh quite a bit more than the standard hybrid. And even though it has 40 more horsepower or so than the standard hybrid, I don't think it's any quicker. You do get more of an electrification propulsion. You feel that more smooth shove compared to the standard hybrid. But since there's more weight in here, the acceleration result is about the same. It's a great thing about hybrids, whether it's a standard hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, is when you're at a stop sign here or stoplight, engine is off, vehicle has no vibrations going through it, no sounds coming in. It's very, very quiet and pleasant in here. Okay, so what was the EV experience like? I know I told you 38 miles. Well, it felt more perky in this vehicle than it did in the Santa Fe plug-in hybrid that I tested. It has no problems keeping up with traffic in the city. You know, the fastest I went in EV mode was probably around 60 miles an hour. If you're gonna be merging on the freeway, well, that's why you have this little turbocharged engine to help out as well. So you can maximize that 260 horsepower instead of the 90 or so when you're just in electric mode. So I never felt like I needed more power in and around town, and I was very happy with the EV torque and power delivery and how smooth it was. However, it does have to go through the 6-speed automatic transmission. And so you kind of have that initial surge in response off the line, and then you get a little bit of a lull, which is kind of strange in typical electric cars when you're driving an EV only. You just have a continuous stream of acceleration, but you get a little hiccup here and a slowing of acceleration when you row through each individual gear when you're in EV mode. And that's typically when you're pushing it kind of hard to its limits in EV mode. If you're just tooling around 50% throttle, 70% throttle, you're probably not going to feel that drop in acceleration when you're shifting gears. But when you're driving in traditional hybrid mode, I like this 6-speed auto. I feel like it's much more comfortable shifting with a gasoline engine than it is on just pure electric mode.
You have to hold on to it, okay?
Oh, screen. Can you hold on to it? That's a great feature. I had to get kids water in the back seat, so I had to look back for a quick second at the stoplight, and the Hyundai let me know that the car in front of me left. So it gave me a little jingle, a little chime. It's like, hey, it's time to go. So I really like that feature here. I know you would too, Cass, yeah, as a mom. Yeah, for sure. As we start driving here, this vehicle rides really, really well. I mean, we're on like a perfect road right now, so that helps. I don't know what that Ford's doing. Wrong lane, I guess. But it rides really, really well. You know, when you do hit some broken things in the pavement, it's not less than perfect roads, it does feel kind of stiff in here, and you do get pushed around a bit, but that's, you know, where we live, that's few and far between since our roads are so good. So I've been very comfortable and happy driving this vehicle. Now, one of the things I really like about the Tucson and this plug-in hybrid anyways is that it's really quiet. You know, there's a slight breeze outside right now, and I'm not getting any annoying wind buffeting going on. I do hear some things when this Honda passes me, just a little bit coming from the side, but for the most part, it's a very quiet experience in here. And even Hyundai's done a good job removing you from that engine noise. The engine is on right now, but it's not really buzzy or annoying in any way. Put the pedal down. I didn't hear the engine do anything. So I felt going forward, but Hyundai's kind of removed the engine from the experience. Once you're up to speed, you don't really hear it, which is pretty impressive. I'm going to go ahead and set the radar cruise control. I already said that it works great in here, but also so does the steering assist feature here. Hyundai, you don't even need radar cruise control on to use their steering assist and lane centering technology. It works better if radar cruise control is enabled, but it is super easy to use. One of the best and most intuitive ones out there on the market. So yeah, it's pretty much hands-free driving, but I know Cassie doesn't like that, so I'll put my hands back on the steering wheel. All right, a little bit more about this powertrain. Right now, I'm just cruising at about 45 miles an hour. It's been in EV mode for a while. So the characteristics of this, it likes to use the small turbocharged engine, the 1.6 liter, to accelerate this vehicle from a stop. And it just went up that little, we don't have a lot of hills, but it stayed in EV mode going up that hill. But once you're up to speed and the car has the right, you know, amount of battery charge in it, it'll just be in EV mode as long as it can. So really, you know, the engine acts a lot like a generator more times than not, because it's going to run this battery down like 12%. I actually haven't seen it go this far down before, but it's very comfortable at this speed going on EV range. Was she's cold?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Well, here, I'm going to keep the great thing about the vents being right here, I can actually reach back and move the vent when the kids are cold, so they're not freezing back there. Find it hard to believe that she's cold because we have the roof open, but
she had swimming this morning.
Oh, she had swimming, and maybe she just ate.
She just ate.
That's why. Okay, so we have the radar cruise control still on here. I'm going about 38 miles per hour. I wonder if it's going to stop for us. Cassie does not like this test.
Don't like this experiment.
The car's stopping. It did not do it very well. A part of the reason why it didn't do it very well and hit the brakes hard there is because I had the pacing at just 1 bar instead of max bars. So right now it said, hey, go forward. I don't have to press the gas pedal. I can just press up on this little button here to resume the acceleration, but I have a red light here, so I have to actually get on the brake. It handled that rough road pretty well. You know, we could feel it, but I couldn't really hear it. And sometimes I get a lot of road and tire noise from that area right there, and I didn't get that here in the Tucson plug-in hybrid. Speaking of Tucson, there's a red one right there. I like it in red. Cass, would you rather have it in red or white?
Red.
Red, yeah. You and I are both color choosers.
I like, yes.
Instead of having
just a white one.
White, black. Yeah, you definitely don't like white cars.
No.
Yeah.
No
Just
offense.
like no offense. Half the cars here, well, there's an SC430. The car color is the same as their hair, but
yeah, but that one has like a nice little pearl luminescence to it.
it does. You don't mind pearl white, right?
I don't mind pearl white. 'Cause
Yeah.
At least there's something.
This is more. There's another Tucson. Jeez, Louise, are everywhere. So, people like the design of these things. I think they look pretty cool from the front and the back. I think we're gonna. Oh, there's an older Tucson in front of us. Holy cow! And there's a Bentley just turning around up there. I don't know if. Oh no, that's sorry. Forgive me. It was a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, not the Bentley Bentayga. Oh, there's a Lucid there too, with the Range Rover. So we're seeing all sorts of cool stuff. But we're gonna. Oh, he's doing a U-turn. But we're going to head back into the office here to do the buying guide on the Hyundai Tucson. All right, looking at the builder for the Tucson plug-in hybrid, and keep in mind that the Santa Fe plug-in hybrid has just been canceled as they get ready for the new generation. There's only going to be a Santa Fe hybrid and a turbo model. Will Hyundai do the same going forward with the Tucson? Maybe, but I think that the plug-in hybrid for 2024 has already been confirmed for the Tucson. Anyways, between SEL and Limited, in the review, I drove the Limited, which is going to give you the 360 camera, as well as blind spot view monitor and other things, but it starts at 44K. Unless you get a screaming deal, I just can't recommend it because for that price, there is a better hybrid, plug-in hybrid available in the same class, and that is the Rav4. Has more power, has more versatility, has more range, but this SEL 37.5 I think is a great buy. So with the SEL, you still get the digital key, you get heated seats, you don't get the ventilated seats. I can live without that. You still get a hands-free auto lift gate. You have LED headlights. I don't think these are the premium headlights that you have on the Limited grade, though. All right, you still have H-Track all-wheel drive. Now you have an 8-way power driver's seat. And look, the seats are cloth on this model. But since you don't have ventilated seats, that's okay because cloth breathes a lot better than the leather that I had in my review sample. You still get the 19-inch wheels. You still get the LED taillights. And at first, I thought this was a downgrade, but here's why it's an upgrade. The entire panel here on the Limited grade is touch capacitive. It sucks. We have actually a volume dial here, a tuning dial. Yes, the screen is smaller, but I actually didn't need that big of a screen on the Tucson. So I'd be happy with a smaller screen. I would actually prefer the smaller screen and have true interactive volume and tuning dials. And you have true interactive temperature control dials here. I think the rest of them look to be touch capacitive, but still, I like this setup a lot better than what we have on the Limited model. Here's an idea of your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, you don't get that amazing panel roof, and that's okay because that panel roof does heat up the cabin, especially in the heat of the day. And that's important for where I live down here in Florida. So if you don't have the big roof, another reason why you don't need ventilated seats. You still have blind spot monitor. You're just not going to have the blind spot monitor camera that comes up when you put your blinker on. You still have vents in the back. Now, it doesn't look like we have rear USBs, but that's okay. I can live without that. Now, behind the steering wheel, we have a more basic setup. That's okay. I actually don't mind analog gauges here. It's something that's a lost art. It's getting away from, and this is going to give me the fuel economy and range information that I need in this tiny little screen. So this doesn't bother me. And actually you get 2 USB-A's in the back. So never mind, you actually get them. There's your backup camera. So it has all the safety features other than 360 camera. It has even backup stopping features. Can we find anything out there on the market for this SEL? Well, here's the thing. In my area, they're not available. You cannot get a Tucson plug-in hybrid within 200 miles, within 500 miles, still nothing where I live. So looking at the entire US of A, there are a few out there, 905, but you just have to live in the right areas that they're offered. So probably the California emission regulated states. So if you can snag one
around 36, 37K. Now, these are all SEL, mind you, but if you can get that, I think it's a good buy, in my opinion, especially with, price drops going on. The thing is, why is this such a good buy? Because if I look at the hybrids in my area, this is a base hybrid at $34,000, not going to be nearly well as equipped. Look at these wheels, these dorky wheels. These things are not going to be equipped very well compared to the SEL models, especially the SEL plug-in hybrid. It's only about $2,000 less, $3,000 less than the best deal for the SEL plug-in hybrid. So yeah, the regular Tucson hybrid is a great vehicle. The thing is, if you live in an area with the plug-in hybrid, the price differences aren't that much different because look, SEL standard hybrid for $36K, and you can also get the plug-in hybrid for about $37K, which is a better vehicle, has more power, it has more versatility with that EV range, etc. So if you're able to plug in at home, the plug-in hybrid, if you have one in your area, is going to be a great buy under $40,000. Otherwise, you're just stuck with the standard hybrid, and these things are pretty darn expensive for what they're offering. Also for 2024, keep this in mind, they offer the N-Line only as a hybrid. That's something before that it was not offered in a hybrid. Now it's only offered in a hybrid that I'm aware of. So let me know which one you would be going for. I think the plug-in hybrid SEL is the no-brainer if it's available in your area. If you made this far in the video, I appreciate you. Smash the like button, subscribe for more Hyundai updates. I'm going to be driving the Kona in the Baltimore area in like 2 weeks from now. The new redesigned Kona, can't wait. The Kona EV might be there, but more than likely it's just the standard models like the turbo model too. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more. Catch you in the next one. Have a great day and peace.